I'm Hazel Chu. I'm the chairperson of a party in government. I am the 352nd Lord Mayor of Dublin City. I am the 9th woman to take this role and the first person of colour to take this role. And that is why you should listen to me.
How does it feel to be the first woman of colour to hold your position as the Mayor of Dublin?
It's a huge honour. It's surreal. It's definitely very surreal, but it's a massive honour, and the gravity hasn't escaped me in how big a decision this is.
What was your motivation in becoming a politician? What gets you going in serving the public?
Well, I have to say that one is split between my other half, because he is a child protection social worker, and he's also worked in homeless and addiction and worked with kids on the street. And it was only when he decided to run and he didn't have a campaign manager that he asked me, and between the two of us, I said, yeah, sure, how hard could it be? It was really hard. So for a first time person running, it was really hard. And I look at my mum, who came over here as an immigrant over 45 years ago, and I just think it's been great how the community has been to her, how Irish society has been to her, and it'd be great to give back as well. So that's where I was coming from.
Now, Hazel, you have personally been a victim of racial abuse. Has this affected the way you are addressing anti-Asian attacks following the coronavirus outbreak?
It has. We've recently had a case here where a Chinese lady got pushed into the canal in Dublin, and it was very much a case that it was an assault that was undeniable, but it was also racially motivated insofar that the perpetrators had racially abused her before they performed the assault. And you see a rise in that across the world. And I guess when you have people like the leader of the States treating that it is the China virus or it is the Chinese virus and it's all to do with, it's all the fault of Chinese people, then people follow. People, when you're pushing down that narrative that is so hateful, people believe it, and that's what we have to tackle. So from the beginning of my term, even before seeing all these various attacks, that I had promised across the board, we need to tackle racism, because it's not just discrimination against Asian people, it's not just discrimination against Black people or Muslims, it's discrimination across the board. We really have to address it. Otherwise, we just become more polarized as time goes on.
I want to move on to a lighter side of things. You know, for a British Chinese woman like myself, I would say defiance is part of my DNA. How do you think your heritage has influenced your career?
Stubbornness. So kind of like defiance. I think there's a mentality, especially coming from a home with a tiger mother, that you don't give up. Now, it's not necessary that you never think you're not wrong, but it's that belief that when you are right, you hold on to it. When you are wrong, you're also going to humbly accept it as well and learn from it. But I think from my heritage and from my parents' heritage from being from Hong Kong, especially from my mother and her character and personality, I think the whole stubbornness and perseverance has always been the kind of the main traits.
So Lord Mayor Chu, I do want to also ask you, you know, you've done so well to get to where you are. How will you encourage the next generation of young female leaders of colour?
It's a hard one, Elaine. I think what I would say straight away is just jump and go for it. Like, there are going to be a million barriers in your way because you are a woman. So there are also going to then be added extra barriers in your way because you are a woman of color. For example, the racial abuse that you talked about, that is very prevalent in politics. It's prevalent in politics across the board. Males get it, females get it. But what we have discovered, and we saw this in the UK election, where Amnesty International did a report, and they realized that taking on social media and the trolling that happened, females of color got the most abuse. You will have a lot of people going, oh no, listen, I'm not prepared to put myself out there because you will be constantly attacked. And what I would say is, because that is what you're fighting for, to make sure that we have policies in place in the future to stop discrimination like that happening. You are fighting for a better future for your daughter or your son, and you are fighting for basically a better future for you as a woman in color. And I think the first thing I would say is jump, and also reach out to people. I'm more than happy if people, any of your viewers watch this, younger viewers, and go, oh, I want a career in politics, but I don't know how to. Reach out. I'd be more than happy to answer and give advice, because I think younger generation gets very, very jaded by politics. And I think the more jaded they are, they get less involved. And more, what we need to do is encourage people to get involved. So if you have any questions at all, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Thank you for your conversation today.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Lovely to chat to you.